Today on Good Morning Maine, 3 members of a Bangor family have been charged with murder following the death of a child.
Plus, Democrats unveil new gun control measures in the wake of the Lewiston mass shooting, but not everyone is happy.
And an important meeting will be held today to discuss the future of the Hamden Postal Facility. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith. I forgot what I was going to say there for a second.
I'm Craig Colson, too, I think. I'm not sure, but it's been that kind of a morning.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us this morning for Good Morning Maine. We'll have those stories coming up, but first we're going to start with a check of the weather, and that's really the big story this morning. We had all the strong winds that rolled through the area overnight, and that's caused some power outages. Last I checked, Central Maine Power had about 25,000 outages, and Versant had a couple of thousand of their own. Utility crews are out there trying to restore that. But then after all that wind, the temperatures took a nosedive overnight. When I came in this morning, it was right at freezing. Now it's getting down into the 20s, and because of that, everything is freezing up. In fact, the Maine DOT sent out a warning last night about a flash freeze. They were out during the night putting salt and sand on the roads, trying to keep them passable, but it's still pretty icy out there. There have been some cars going off the road, and we just want to let people know you want to take it easy if you're heading out today.
Yeah, yep, that black ice is everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get a quick check of that forecast. Our weather department has received some technical difficulties this morning. There was a ransomware hack, so Devin Biggs is not able to join us this morning. We're working on getting that resolved, but let's just get a check of that extended. This is as good as it can be in the meantime. Today, partly cloudy, windy. Highs will be about 20 degrees. The low will be around 8 today. Overnight, that low will be around 8 to 11. Tomorrow, mostly or partly cloudy. Highs of 32, so a little bit warmer than today. And on Saturday, quite warmer, full sun, high of 48 degrees. And similar on Sunday, but we have a chance of rain, temperature-wise similar. And then on Monday, showers are likely, highs will be about 50. So, the temperatures are climbing from here on out, but we just got to get through these next kind of 48 hours.
Yeah. In the meantime, there are some delays today. Some schools have been delaying their opening by a couple of hours. And again, those road conditions are not great out there. Let's turn things over to reporter Devin Dagnall, who is standing by live in Bangor to give us the very latest on the conditions. Good morning, Devin.
Hey, good morning, Emma and Craig. Craig, you're definitely right. It is freezing out here. It's a frigid 20 degrees out here, and we're seeing gusts of wind of up to 20 miles an hour. The wind has died down, at least right now it is, so we're feeling pretty good. But the Maine DOT is out. They're treating all the roads as much as they can. It looks like traffic is getting to a pretty normal pace right now, so it looks like most of the roads are cleared off. But on those back roads, we can't guarantee anything. So if you are traveling on back roads, try to take it slow. Some sheet ice can just really ruin your whole day if you end up in a ditch. So, play it safe. In the meantime, we'll send it back to you, Emma and Craig.
All right, thank you, Devin. The good news is it looks like the traffic's moving along nicely now. So
yeah.
More on the forecast coming up. In the meantime, we have new information on the investigation into a child's death in Bangor. It happened back on February 18th.
Police say that child's death has now been ruled a homicide, and 3 members of the child's own family are now charged with murder. Bangor police say on the morning of Sunday, February 18th, a 10-year-old child was brought to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries. The hospital notified Bangor police and DHHS. Police tell us this scene in Birch Hill Estates from February 19th is connected to the investigation. Despite life-saving efforts, the child succumbed to his injuries and died. Police say the chief medical examiner in Augusta has ruled the child's death a homicide. Bangor police detectives arrested 3 people in connection with the child's murder. The child's father, 33-year-old Joshua Smith, the child's mother, 35-year-old Jem Beam, and the paternal grandmother, 56-year-old Misty LaTourette. All 3 are from Bangor and have been charged with depraved indifference murder. They were transported to the Penobscot County Jail. The case remains under investigation.
Well, meanwhile, we've learned more about a death in Waterville that caused schools to be closed for the day earlier this week. Police responded at around 4:30 on Monday morning after receiving a call about a man who was found slumped over the steering wheel of a school bus in the parking lot. Waterville schools remained closed for the day while police investigated, and the medical examiner later determined that the 24-year-old man died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Although police have identified the man, we've chosen to withhold his name out of respect and privacy for the family.
Fire tore through a farmhouse in Madison yesterday morning. Madison Fire Chief Don French says crews responded to the fully involved structure fire at 13 Green Road just after 9 a.m. He says the tenants living in the building were able to get out safely and are being assisted by the Red Cross. Crews faced some challenges as they worked to extinguish the flames.
We had a hard time getting to it, so we had an excavator come in and rip the roof off, and it was on posts and beams, so we had to take some of the floor up.
The fire marshal's office determined the fire was accidental in nature.
A man from Somerset County has been sentenced to close to 5 years in prison for drug trafficking. 29-year-old Cody Mosher was arrested in January of last year after leading police on a chase through Norwich Walk and Madison. A search of his vehicle turned up 760 grams of fentanyl along with other drugs and evidence. Mosher was sentenced Wednesday to serve 57 months in prison, followed by 4 years of supervised release.
3 Chinese nationals attempting to cross into the U.S. illegally have been arrested in Maine. The U.S. Border Patrol in Holton says agents noticed the Chinese nationals attempting to use the cover of darkness to gain entry into Fort Fairfield. They say a driver from New York, who is also a Chinese national, was arrested and suspected of attempting to help with the illegal entry. You can report any suspicious activity to the Holton Sector headquarters at 532-6512, extension 5.
The Penobscot County Grand Jury has indicted a man in connection with an incident that required some Old Town residents to evacuate and had the University of Maine on high alert. Back in December, Old Town police were called to Martha's Way for a report of a man in crisis with a firearm. UMaine students received an alert notifying them about a man with a gun that had barricaded himself at the Regency Trailer Park and advised them to avoid that area. Police eventually took 20-year-old Rowan Lynch into custody. He was indicted on charges of reckless conduct with a firearm. Meanwhile, 50-year-old Jeremy Hart of Lee was also indicted on a variety of charges, including criminal threatening with a dangerous weapon, possession of a firearm by a prohibited person, and domestic violence criminal threatening. Hart is accused of creating a disturbance at a home in Lee. He was prohibited from being there because of prior bail conditions and a protection order. Back in 2008, Hart was sentenced to 12 years in prison after pleading guilty to killing his wife in LaGrange.
3 new bills introduced by legislative Democrats aim to curb gun violence in the state in the wake of the Lewiston mass shooting. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has more on what's in the bills, and the response from Republican lawmakers.
This suite of legislation that we are introducing today, in conjunction with the governor's proposed legislation, will initiate important progress to make our state safer.
The suite features 3 bills that would seek to implement the following changes in the state. Increase mental health crisis units, enable the mental health crisis system to connect to 911 dispatch, increase the number of crisis walk-in centers, establish a main office of violence prevention, increase the medication management services, institute a statewide active shooter alert system, implement a ban on bump stock-like devices, and institute a 72-hour waiting period for all firearm sales in the state.
I will say at the outset that the lens in which we have been using to craft this legislation has really been through a public health lens.
There has to be a way for level-headed people to come together and figure out a way that could possibly stop or make it harder for anything like this to happen again.
There are some of the measures, like bump stock bans and the 72-hour waiting period, that Republicans previously defeated in prior bills. However, they did seem open to supporting more mental health services.
Mass shootings are clearly a mental health issue because sane, balanced people do not perpetrate them. They just don't.
The crisis receiving centers, I think that's definitely something where we could get behind. I think, frankly, the amount of money being allocated to it is wholly inadequate. I think we need to be doing more on that front.
While these bills are in the early stages of the legislative process, Speaker Talbot Ross is hopeful that the ideas in the bills will pass with bipartisan support.
It's absolutely our hope that we will be able to move forward in a bipartisan manner. Preliminary conversations with some Republican leaders have indicating a willingness to sit down and talk.
Speaker Talbot Ross's bill will have its first public hearing on Monday. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
About 2 weeks ago, residents in Plymouth received a notice that the town's drinking water was contained with levels of PFAS chemicals that exceeded the state's safe drinking water standard. Our Grace Blanchard spoke with community members as they tackled that crisis.
This suite of legislation that we are introducing today in conjunction.
Nearly 200 people in Plymouth are without safe drinking water after recent testing revealed potentially harmful levels of PFAS.
It's big. It's big in a small town like this.
This is what's so sad about this happening, is that this is a wonderful community, and for us to go through this, it's very sad, frightening.
A notice went out to the public highlighting the risks that can come from ingesting high levels of PFAS, leaving many on edge.
Who wants to shower in that kind of water? Who wants to bathe in it? And getting water outside, outside water is also expensive too. So what is a family supposed to do?
Over 60 families are currently relying on water that's been donated by Poland Springs.
That is awesome. It's a relief, actually.
Lorraine Farah is one of the many impacted and says it has been a nightmare.
We can't cook, we can't do any, we can take showers and do laundry and do our dishes, but we can't cook and we can't drink the water as of right now.
According to town officials, a filtration system is being designed, but it could be months before that is ready. Farah says the fire department will continue to hand out water to those in need.
Keep checking on their neighbors, and if they see them getting low on water, other than the 3 days a week, please, call somebody, because we don't want anyone to go without clean water.
In Plymouth, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Boy, just horrible situation for the people dealing with that.
Yeah, frustrating isn't even the right word.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right, the time now is 8:12. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, a public hearing, will be held today to discuss downsizing a postal facility in Camden. Some fear it could impact local deliveries.
But first, another check of that weather forecast. Things cooling down today. It will be partly cloudy and windy with highs reaching around 20 degrees. Partly cloudy with lows dropping down to around 11 overnight tonight. Tomorrow, a much better day, mostly sunny and warmer with highs around 31. We'll be right back.
There's some things that work better together, like your workplace benefits and retirement savings. Voya helps you choose the right amounts without over or under investing across all your benefits and savings options, so you can feel confident in your financial choices.
They really know how to put 2 and 2 together. Voya, well planned, well invested, well protected.
I got hurt in a car accident. Give me one good reason why I should call the Twos.
How about 3 great reasons you should call us? 1, we make it easy. We'll deal with the insurance company so you don't have to. 2, there's no upfront cost. Read the result. Just listen to this.
I called the Twos after my accident, and Lowry and Associates got me $300,000.
Call the Twos. We win for you.
If you're hurt in an accident, what do? Call 222-2222.
Toyota trains certified technicians. Is that important?
Well, you wouldn't hire just anyone to help you move, would you?
No.
Of course not.
Not again.
Get your Toyota ready for the year's coldest and harshest weather. See your New England Toyota dealer for great service offers to help keep your Toyota dependable and fuel efficient all winter long. Toyota Service Centers. Keep your Toyota a Toyota.
She's the apple of his eye.
Ta-da! What do you think?
You look beautiful. And you're grounded.
She may be a tomboy.
You're so lucky you get to be in junior G.I. Joes. And you're lucky I don't want to get blood on my uniform.
But she's still Daddy's little girl.
Sit down, I won't touch you for a minute.
This isn't a sex talk, is it? Because I already know more than I'd like to.
Learn all about Eve.
Am I supposed to understand what you mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
On Last Man Standing.
Weekdays at 3 on Fox 22.
Maine game wardens are urging people to stay off the ice following yesterday's storm. Rainfall has left standing water on lakes and ponds across the region, which wardens say could expand ice fishing holes left in the ice and expose rocks near the surface.
Any open water that was open before obviously is going to be more open now or less safe. Those that have maybe ice shacks out should be considering caution when removing them. Normally this would be peppered with ice shacks still. If it keeps going the way it is, it's going to be a very short season.
Wardens also want to remind the public to use caution even if they don't see standing water, because ice in many areas is not as thick as people would normally expect it to be this time of year. A link to more information on ice safety guidelines can be found on our website, foxbangor.com.
Getting kind of slushy out there too.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Not fun. All right, well, since late last year, a major postal facility in Hamden has been included in proposed plans for consolidation. Ahead of today's public meeting, our Doug Banks sat down with one local union president to understand what this potential could have for the area.
As part of the USPS's Delivering for America plan, the Eastern Maine Processing and Distribution Center in Hamden could be repurposed as a local processing facility. With fewer capabilities, it would no longer process local mail, affecting delivery times and employees.
They maintain that there'll be no career employee layoffs, which I'm sure is accurate because our collective bargaining agreement doesn't allow for that. However, it does allow for reassignment.
Right now, if you were to send a letter from one side of Bangor to the other, it first has to go through Hamden to be processed and postmarked. If the consolidation happens, the letter would be sent 2 hours south to Scarborough for processing before being sent north again for delivery. Those who rely on the Postal Service for medication, absentee ballots, and other time-sensitive items could see notable delays.
Anything that's time-sensitive in nature, it'll have an effect on it. These consolidations seem to degrade the service end of it instead of maintain or increase the service end.
One of Parochi's main concerns is the impact it could have on local post offices.
Those offices have a designated level, and as employees are pulled out of those offices, carriers, and utilized out of the plant, that is going to downgrade those other post offices.
On Thursday, a public input meeting will be held at Jeff's Catering in Brewer, starting at 4 o'clock. In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Maine's community schools put an emphasis on taking student support beyond the classroom, and the Department of Education is hoping to add more of those schools across the state. Our David Ledford explains.
The Maine Department of Education is offering funding to expand the state's community schools, which provide a variety of resources for both students and families, in addition to academic learning. At a community school, staff can quickly direct students to food pantries, healthcare, and more.
It requires a fundamental shift in thinking about how to deliver public education in a way that addresses the whole child. Food, books, clothing, and diapers, and other necessities, all to prioritize the well-being of students and families. The school transforms into a community hub.
Maine currently has community schools in Old Town, New Sharon, and Portland. The funding allows the department to develop up to 5 more. Department of Education representatives say any public elementary or secondary school can become a community school, and the resources they provide can help families address issues like absenteeism.
If students are coming to school hungry or dealing with stress or lacking adequate mental or physical health needs, it just makes it that much harder to focus on learning. Well, community schools are organized in a way to address those barriers.
Families interested in helping their school become a community school can visit our website, foxbangor.com, to learn more. Schools have until March 15th to apply. In Bangor, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news, the University of Maine Augusta's Bangor campus will be installing more security cameras around the property. This comes following a shooting in the Dow parking lot of the campus back on February 11th. Communications Associate Vice President Brent Wooten says UMA Bangor will be adding these cameras in various parking lots and buildings around the campus. He also says additional measures have been put into place, including adding 6 Jersey barriers in the Dow parking lot, requiring parking decals for certain areas of the campus, and monthly meetings with members of the Bangor campus. The university says they'll continue working with the community towards solutions for dealing with the encampment bordering its Bangor campus as well. I understand that that shooting involved a couple of people who had been kind of camping out around there too. So they're just kind of keeping an eye on that and trying to listen to the concerns of the students there.
Yeah, it's a spread out campus.
Yeah.
I mean, it can take a while to get back to your car, especially if you have a class that's closer to night and you got to walk in the dark. That's kind of not safe.
Be a little spooky.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, some good news for you too. If you're looking for a job too, I want to let you know that there will be a hiring fair today for Rennie's. Rennie's is opening up a new department store in Bangor at the location of the old Christmas tree shop by the Bangor Mall. They'll be having the hiring fair from 10 this morning until 7 tonight, and then the Rennie's store itself will be opening on April 4th. So if you're looking for a job, head on over there and see if they'll hire you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Win-win.
We're looking forward to Rennie's.
Yep.
Here in Bangor.
Definitely. Hey, the time now is 8:20. After the break, we'll hear from a local food pantry that's open to the public in a new and improved way.
That and more coming up after the break.
The Legacy Sandwich, where you can find quality homemade sandwiches that are made to order. When it comes to food, we take it seriously. That's why we serve shredded chicken and turkey on our sandwiches, and our bacon is cooked fresh daily. To pair with your sandwich, we also have a selection of homemade soups, macaroni salad, and baked goods for dessert. The Legacy Sandwich, voted Bangor's best deli sandwich shop for the past 12 years running. It's not just a sandwich, it's a legacy. Give us a call today.
Little Miss Davis Sweets and Treats, a home-based business that specializes in homemade baked goods. I bake everything from mini cupcakes and cakes, including my giant cookies, cupcakes, and large gingerbread men. I also specialize in baking homemade fudge and brownies too. Everything I bake is made to order, so I do kindly ask for at least a 7-day pickup notice when placing your order. Little Miss Davis Sweets and Treats.
It's the marvelous.
You always carry that much cash around? Do you think there's just boobs in this bra?
The Mawsome.
You tell lies, you gamble, and yet you never seem to pay a price for any of it.
When you're cute like me, rules are just a little different.
The Maw-inspiring.
Yes! I think I'm gonna wet myself.
Meemaw.
That's what Meemaw would say. Aren't you just a spoonful of sugar?
Young Sheldon.
Weekdays at 4 on Fox 22.
There was a kidnapping today. 28 people. The city bus just disappeared. There's kids on the bus. Don't make me shoot you.
Cutting corners, going rogue. It's a problem.
Put out the alert.
We're running out of time.
Please just find my kid. No! We will get them back. Every single one of them.
You having fun yet?
We changed everything.
Alert season premiere this Tuesday on Fox.
Welcome back, everyone. Legislative leaders and public health advocates called out the tobacco industry yesterday for targeting the black community with menthol cigarettes. This comes as the Maine House of Representatives is poised to take up a bill that would end the sale of flavored tobacco products in Maine, including menthol cigarettes. During the press conference, displays were placed in the Hall of Flags, highlighting some of the stories from Maine's black communities. Jerry Edwards from South Portland shared his personal experience, saying he is one of many who felt targeted by the tobacco industry.
And there was something about the way it was perceived that put you a little bit on a pedestal amongst the smokers in the communities. It was seen somehow as more classy, is what I gathered. The black people that smoked that I knew were pretty proud to smoke menthols. Like they would say that, I smoke menthols. That was a thing.
One lawmaker who is opposed to the flavored tobacco ban says this legislation could actually cause further harm to the black community.
So we know that African Americans and people of color are disproportionately affected by law enforcement. So I don't know why we would create something illegal, create an illicit market for those same folks to be engaged in criminal justice on that side. So I think it's the opposite of helping, and I think we need to let adults be adults. That's my message today.
The National NAACP supports the ban on menthol. It is offensive and repulsive for the tobacco industry and others to use our collective trauma of police brutality to secure their profits in the black community. It's unfair for a person who is not black to talk about what Black folks need in this country.
It's expected to be taken up in the House in the coming weeks.
The pandemic unfortunately closed some businesses and organizations for good, but one local organization actually used the time to renovate in the hopes of furthering their mission. Our Matthew Duronsek has the story.
Homemade Soup Kitchen program has been a vital part of the Orland community for years. But then the pandemic hit, forcing the organization to close the kitchen for 4 years. Now, a place that many call home is back open, serving up food and smiles to new and returning guests.
It's something that, to me, was always very special about home, how we could bring people here. It was a space to break down barriers and bring people together to talk and to be in community with each other.
Since the Soup Kitchen closed 4 years ago, they've renovated the dining room and the kitchen. The workers we spoke to say they're excited to see the Soup Kitchen up and running, serving the public again.
Wonderful. I think it's what we need. I think it's good for the community.
Moore says they've seen a sharp increase in need.
There's an 82% increase in people accessing our food distribution line. So that's significant and something that this Soup Kitchen is hoping to address with our programming.
At the end of the day, Moore hopes this can be a safe space for people to ask for help when needed.
My hope is that this can be a space again where people can be together, where we can talk about our needs and staff can work with people who need help and have a really low barrier way to talk about what can help people get to where they need to be.
In Orland, Matthew Duronsek, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
A small town robotics team shocked the world last year, and they're dialed in to do it all over again. Our Devin Dagnall has more.
Going into the competition, what are you worried about? What are you excited about?
I'm excited to see how this robot stacks up against all the other good teams that are going to be at the competition, and I'm excited to hopefully see us do well this year.
The Bucksport High School robotics team, Bucks Wrath, and their Robot Shock made headlines last year when they ranked third at the International First Robotics Competition, and they've set their sights just as high this year with their new bot Dial.
We're really crossing our fingers and looking forward to this year and seeing if we can live up to what we did last year.
They want to go farther, and we're behind them, and we'll see what happens.
Team 6329 is set to embark on their first competition of the season this Thursday, but with limited equipment available for practicing, it's hard to predict what will happen.
We've only been able to have two robots out here, one playing defense, one playing offense, so it's hard to really see the game until you actually get to play it.
Despite the uncertainty, driver Braden Gray is confident he and his team are ready to adapt if need be.
We have to go into every match with whatever we got. Even if it broke the match before and we weren't able to fix it, we just got to make it work.
Well, no matter what happens this season, nothing can take away what this team from a small town in Maine has already accomplished.
I don't know if these guys really know just how crazy it is, how well they did. There are lots of teams that go their whole careers, 20 plus years, and never get to that level.
We'll keep you updated as Team 6329 goes through their season. In Bucksport, Devin Dagnall, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
And we certainly wish them the best of luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, robots are cool.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, moving right along. Are we going to look at that forecast?
Yeah,
Is
go
that
ahead.
what we're doing?
Another look at the forecast.
Yeah, just real quick. Partly cloudy today, quite a bit of a breeze as well. The high will be around 20 degrees, dropping down tonight to a low of 11, so everything's freezing up overnight. Partly cloudy, but tomorrow mostly sun, high of 31 degrees. And for your Saturday, can we get a look at Saturday?
There we go.
There we go. Partly cloudy on Saturday. High of 48 degrees, dropping down to a low of 36 for Saturday night, but you know, it's still warm over the weekend. Chance of rain on Sunday, high of 49, and on Monday, showers are likely. A bit of some clouds, high of 50, so you know, we're really feeling those spring temperatures. We will be right back.
Jerry's Used Cars has been a family-owned business for more than 30 years, currently in Corinna and Vesey. However, we have changed a little as we are no longer just a buy here, pay here dealership. We now have access to outside financing and also carry utility trailers. We would be happy to assist you with your next vehicle purchase. And don't forget, here at Jerry's Used Cars, we offer an extended warranty. So give us a call at either our Corinna or Vesey location.
We have a garage door that doesn't lift.
So I went on Angie. It took me just a handful of minutes.
So vendors who were knowledgeable, they did higher quality work.
They wanted us to be happy with the work done as well. It is a beautiful garage, I will say.
Get started today at Angie.com.
My father started a roofing company in the 1970s.
Back when asbestos was still commonly used in Maine.
When George was diagnosed with mesothelioma, we knew there wasn't a cure yet, but we knew he needed help.
We called Joe Bornstein's office because this family means business.
Their team is handling everything, representing Mainers who were victims of asbestos exposure.
We highly recommend the law offices of Joe Bornstein.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
Looks like it was crafted by a master carpenter.
And it's just $9.99 every day.
Every day?
Every day.
But not every day.
Every day.
Nice.
When the looks you love go for less, there's only one thing to say.
Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
The thing about domestic violence is it can happen at any point in life to anybody. The thing about Next Step is we are here at any time for you. If you feel like your relationship has gotten somewhere you never wanted it to be, just know we are here for you and we'll always be here for you. One thing we often hear is, if I had only known that you could help me with that, I would have called you so much sooner than I did. So please give us a call.
Violence breaks out during a farmers' protest near the European Union in Belgium. Police say about 900 tractors took over the streets of Brussels on Monday, with many closing in on the European Council building, where agriculture ministers were meeting to discuss the crisis. Police and riot gear used water cannons to push back demonstrators who set tires on fire, tossed bottles, and allegedly sprayed officers with liquid manure. Farmers protesting across Europe claim they're being denied fair revenue due to free trade agreements and deregulation, and they want the EU to take immediate action.
Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump scored a legal win on Wednesday, at least a temporary one, stalling the election subversion case against him. The Supreme Court agreed to take up Trump's claims that he can't be prosecuted for allegedly trying to overturn the 2020 election because of presidential immunity. Oral arguments are set for April, and a ruling will likely come in late June, potentially pushing a trial originally scheduled for March until after the November election. Timing-wise, that's exactly what Trump's lawyers had been hoping for. Also breaking on Wednesday, a state judge banned Trump from appearing on the presidential primary ballot in Illinois for his role in the January 6th riots. But that ruling is delayed from taking effect until the Supreme Court makes a decision on a similar case coming out of Colorado.
The White House says they'll release the findings of President Joe Biden's physical. The president underwent what the administration is calling a routine checkup on Wednesday. Biden was declared, quote, healthy, vigorous, and fit in his 2023 checkup. The news comes as the president has been under increasing scrutiny for growing gaffes he's publicly made, which include various minor falls or trips and numerous misspoken phrases.
That he needs one, because including the neurologist doesn't believe he needs one. Look, I think folks need to understand that the president passes, again, a cognitive test every day. If you look at what a clinical cognitive test is actually, what it actually does, it is a 15-minute appointment that is administered by someone that most of the time people don't actually know, and the president has a team of doctors that is with him 24/7. And he is able to do the work every day that is rigorous, that is more rigorous than it would be for any 15-minute clinical appointment.
President Biden is the oldest president in American history.
Intense infernos continued to terrorize the Texas Panhandle, with one of the blazes being dubbed the Smokehouse Creek Fire, scorching at least 850,000 acres as of last night. That's an area larger than the size of Rhode Island. You could see the fierce winds whipping up the embers and smoke, helping the fire spread into parts of neighboring Oklahoma. At least one person in Texas is confirmed dead, but officials believe evacuation orders help prevent mass casualties. Some residents of the impacted areas are now returning after the flames have passed, digging through the debris and trying to salvage any belongings they might be able to get. But firefighters warn folks may not be in the clear just yet. with the Texas Division of Emergency Management chief saying that adverse weather conditions could return Friday and into the weekend. The weather down in Texas has changed greatly in recent years. They've had extreme cold weather already this winter, which can paralyze that state. And now up in the Panhandle is just about as dry as can be. So they do not need any burning at all up there.
That's scary.
Yeah.
All right, coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll hear from some folks who have birthdays today. Since it's a leap year, it makes them especially unique.
That and more coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Give me one good reason why I should call the Twos.
How about 3 great reasons you should call us? 1, we make it easy. 2, there's no upfront cost. Read the results. Call the Twos. We win for you.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen. Yeah.
Try dietary supplements from Voltaren for healthy joints.
Good luck to the Dexter Tiger girls basketball team in the state tournament game from Howard Insurance.
This is going to be the toughest next level chef yet.
I want my mom.
Only the best will survive.
All new Next Level Chef, tonight at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Who are you?
I'm no one.
Stop lying!
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back, folks. Today is Thursday, February 29th, 2024. It's also a leap year.
A leap day happens every 4 years to ensure our calendar aligns with the Earth's orbit. It takes a little more than 365 days for the Earth to orbit the sun. 4 years of that extra time adds up to a full day, and that's why the extra day is added. Without leap years, our calendar would gradually fall out of alignment with the seasons.
Very interesting. So that explains that. All right, some history now. On this day in history, back in 1504, a lunar eclipse saved the life of explorer Christopher Columbus. Jamaican Indians were hostile on that day, but Columbus knew that a lunar eclipse was about to happen, and he convinced the locals that they made his god angry for not giving him food and cooperating, but they surrendered and agreed to cooperate so long as he restored the moon.
Sounds like the worst ex-boyfriend ever. Sounds like that's the person you go to therapy for.
Yeah, he used a little science to manipulate them. So
that's evil.
Yeah,
that's evil behavior.
A lot can be said these days about Christopher Columbus.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave it right there.
A violent dude. And that's like not even scratching the surface.
I promise never to bring him up again on the midpoint.
No, we should be. No, we're getting fired up, Craig.
Yeah. All right. Moving on now. You're going to like this one too. This gets you all fired up too.
Yeah, this one
In
does too.
1692, the first warrants were issued to arrest 3 women accused of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts. They included Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and you have to say her name again?
Tituba.
Tituba.
Yep.
I always pronounce it wrong. Excuse me. A West Indian slave who were all convicted. Very interesting story there.
Yeah, this is one that I could go on for days and days about because obviously we're all taught in grade school. It's like these women and all of the people, because men were killed in Salem as well by the government. These were state-sanctioned killings of people accused of witchcraft, and this, is something that we should be learning from because it's like it was just hysteria on the town's part, and it's concerning.
Yeah, I just keep thinking of the Witch and Wizard of Oz all of a sudden. It's like, that's not what we're talking about.
You had a weird look on your face.
I don't know where that came from, but
I was her for Halloween once, like the one with the green face.
Yeah, she scared the heck out of me.
She was scary. Yeah, she's
You too, Keenan?
I liked her shoes.
They kind of rolled up when the house. That was her sister. The house fell on her sister, the Wicked Witch of the East, I think.
So wait, then who's the?
That's the Wicked Witch of the West. So. See how we just went down that rabbit hole with the Salem witch trials?
I see.
Sorry
I know.
about that.
It just starts so many fun conversations.
It does. Okay, I'm killing way too much time here. Let's move on. In 1904, the U.S. Patent Office granted a patent to George Grant for his wooden golf tee. That changed the way golfers played the sport. I still don't know what they did before tees. Did they put it on? I don't know.
Beer bottle.
Beer bottle.
I'm calling it.
Makes sense.
Maybe.
Yeah.
When was that? 1904?
I don't think they had beer bottles then. So.
Was it all on tap?
Yeah.
No, there had to be cans.
They put it in 1904? Yeah, maybe it was
There were
around that
probably
time.
bottles and cans
Yeah.
because they had Coca-Cola bottles.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that the witch on Wizard of Oz scared me?
Yes.
Yeah, she was awful.
Oh, now you're just all distracted because
I am.
you're all freaked out.
Yeah. All right, moving on. In 1940, Hattie McDaniel became the first African-American woman to win an Oscar for her role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind. And in 1944, the Office of Defense Transportation restricted attendance at the Kentucky Derby to only residents of the Louisville area.
This was an effort to prevent a railroad traffic burden during World War II, which makes sense. Kind of makes me want to get my Derby Day hat in order now, though.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think, do men wear Derby Day hats?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think they all get dressed up, though.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
their
It's
thing.
fun. It's fun. In 2016, Justice Clarence Thomas broke 10 years of courtroom silence and posed questions during a Supreme Court case dealing with gun rights, comments that provoked gasps from the audience. In 1972, Hank Aaron became the first professional baseball player to sign a $200,000 a year contract. And in 1996, the U.S. Postal Service produced the first self-adhesive stamp to reduce the licking-related health issues and to decrease the cost of production, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And in 2020, the U.S. and the Taliban signed an agreement to bring peace to Afghanistan.
And now it's just a wonderful, peaceful country over there.
You're
I'm
so
being
right.
sarcastic. I'm sorry.
You're silly today.
I'm bad. All right, birthday time. Today's birthdays include Grammy Award-winning rapper Ja Rule, who is 48, one of my favorite rappers of all time.
Technically, he's 12.
Oh, that's true, because it's a leap year.
Yep.
Author and motivational speaker Tony Robbins is 64 or 16, and singer Mark Foster from the group Foster the People is 40, and I'm told they performed here in Bangor at one point.
I told you that,
You
and
did,
I'm not
yeah.
quite sure. I was just I
okay,
think so.
yeah. I'd never heard of them, but
Yeah.
happy
You've heard
birthday
their
to them.
songs
Have I?
before. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
They're
we're
pretty
getting the rap here. We're talking
too much. All right, moving right along. Now, do we have a story in here? You got to
Yeah,
scroll
there you
for
go.
me. There we go. It's truly a holiday today for many folks celebrating their birthdays, and more people than you might realize were born on February 29th.
Here's ABC's Danny New with more.
I was born February 29th.
Naturally, Leap Day birthdays can get a little complicated. So let's ask two people born on Leap Day, or as they sometimes call themselves.
A leapling?
A leapling. I spoke with Adam and Mahmood, two real-live leaplings who finally get to celebrate their authentic birth dates today. Although for Adam, he says his mom was a little worried at first.
She really didn't want to give birth to a leap year child. She was like trying to hold out to March 1st, but she couldn't do it.
Remember when you were with the Beatles? Sure.
Of course, I had to ask them the obvious question.
They're like, no, you're kidding. What do you do? And it's always like, which day do you celebrate? It's always the first question.
I'm sorry I asked you that question 5 times.
No, it's okay.
So I actually usually claim the 1st because I feel it's more accurate. I feel like a fraud if I'm claiming the 28th. It's a day sooner.
For the record, they both claim March 1st on the off years and have fun with the whole 2 different ages thing. In fact, Adam and his daughter even celebrated when they both turned 13 in the same year.
What's the plate?
However, one complication is the DMV. In California, Adam's license is supposed to expire every 5 years after February 29th. But that doesn't exist.
They actually make it the year that is a leap year for my license to be expired.
Krispy Kreme donuts, so deliciously fresh.
But hey, at least there are plenty of deals on Leap Day, especially if you were born today.
Krispy Kreme donuts will give you a free donut because you're born on leap year. They'll toss you a bone out there if you're born on leap year.
Love that.
My favorite part, Mahmood actually just texted me and said that Adam's story made him realize that his driver's license actually expired this week on Leap Day, so he's really glad we chatted. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, still to come here this morning, Ryan Sudol will have our sports updates.
You also meet a special doggy.
Look at that face.
Oh,
there he
that's
is.
coming up. Don't go away.
The hot, crispy filet of fish with soft steamed buns, tender, flaky fish, melty cheese, and tangy tartar sauce. You either love it or you haven't tried it yet.
Now at McDonald's, order a crispy, delicious Filet-O-Fish, a tender, juicy McCrispy or spicy McCrispy, 2 for only $6.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Whether you can pinpoint the problem or can't quite put your finger on it,
The friendly professionals from Coastal Auto Parts can help point you in the right direction. With Maine's largest network of parts, you can trust your vehicle will have what it needs to get you to the moments that matter most. Because Napa knows the keys to a winning team. And with 29 locations in Maine, Coastal Auto Parts helps keep our communities running. Team up together with the fuel that keeps us firing on all cylinders. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
Behind every keepsake, there's a memory. Behind every photo, there's a story. Behind Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration, there's people giving back by bringing back what was thought to be lost. The details, the time, and the expertise, all packaged up behind a name that Mainers have trusted for over 35 years. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories. We'll handle the rest.
Caitlin Clark. Big time maneuver. She needs no introduction. Hello. She's indescribable. Can you believe this? There are no words. Now she has her sights set on Pistol Pete, all-time NCAA scoring record in a revenge game against Ohio State. Get ready for some Caitlin Clark in your life. Sunday at 12:30 Eastern on Fox.
Is this the start of a dynasty? A redemption tour? A breakthrough? Or is this the makings of the wildest ride you'll ever witness? Any questions?
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start on the hardwood up in Orono. Maine women's basketball is currently number 2 in America East, ahead of their 2 final regular season games Thursday and Saturday at the Pit. It starts Thursday against Binghamton, a team Maine hasn't lost to in 9 games, but always seems to give them a battle. Then on Saturday, a showdown against America East's top team, Albany, potentially for the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. A perfect test to prepare them for the tourney. The team isn't thinking about changing anything that's gotten them this far.
We're just taking care of ourselves, focusing on what we need to do to get better, and I think we have. It's just going to be defense and taking what they give us and just staying composed and staying within the moment.
Just really taking it at a time, making sure we come out strong in the first half. Don't try to get them too many open looks, and then if we stick to the game plan, we'll be in good shape.
If the Black Bears win out, they clinch home court advantage throughout the America East tournament. They haven't lost a conference game in the Pit this year yet, and having a possible 5 more games there in front of some of America East's best fans is just another driving force heading into the final stretch.
We have the best fans in the conference easily. The amount of support that we have here, the intensity here, this environment, it's like no other place in our conference.
Playing here in the Pit with our fans, it's a great advantage to us, and so it's a really big motivation, and we have to win on Thursday for that, to even be a possibility.
Should be a great couple of games. Let's keep it on the hardwood. We are now under 48 hours away from tip-off of the Class B state championships at the Cross Center on Friday. And when the Orono Red Riots take the court, the boys will be looking for their 2nd straight gold ball. For the 2nd straight year, too, the Riots will take on Oceanside for the state championship. Last year, Orono taking a close 61-58 victory in a really good game. There's been a lot of conversation about Oceanside this year, and a lot of it centers around their offense. The Mariners are led by the Galley twins, who both score over 20 points a game, and the team themselves nearly put up 90 points a game. So the Riots know slowing down that attack is their top priority.
They're coming out with the same, if not more, intensity, and we know they're going to be hungry, especially coming up after last year's loss. It's going to be a defensive game for sure, and whoever comes out and prides himself on defense for the full 32 minutes is going to come out with the W.
The Galley brothers are obviously very tough, and so is Zeb Foster, so we're going to have our hands full on defense, but that's what our drive has been the whole season. I think looking forward to these guys has been getting our defense ready to go. So.
It's been a great last few years for the Orono boys. They brought home 2 regional titles and a state championship with football, plus last year's championship run with basketball, and this year's trip to the Gold Ball game. And they credit that success to a winning attitude all throughout the building.
We have a group of winners, and we're all super competitive. We get after each other in practice, on the field, and it comes out to help us in the long run.
Everybody just loves to win here. We always go hard, we grind. As we go at each other in practice all the time, competitive nature is great. I think that if you have a team that's not competitive with each other in practice, you're not going to succeed as much.
Should be a fantastic one at the Cross Center. Now let's stay in Orono, move over to UMaine. Black Bear women's hockey hosting a Hockey East tournament play-in game Wednesday night. 8-seed Maine going up against the 9-seed Merrimack. The Black Bears 0-2-1 against the Warriors this season. So start things off in the first period, no score. Maine's Ida Coppola takes a shot. It's saved by Callie Hogarth, and Haley Chang swats away Coppola's centering attempt. Second period now. Merrimack's Alex Ferguson passes it back to Solveig Gisler, and her ripper is glove saved by Jordan Madison. Later, Maine on the power play. Sarah Morrison taps a loose puck to a charging Coppola, and she scores her 25th goal of the year. Black Bears up 1-0. Third period now. Merrimack power play. Chang over to Celine Denby. The charge, the shot, and the goal to knot things up at 1. The game goes to overtime with the Warriors' Allison Reeve cashing in there. 2-1, Merrimack wins and they move on. And finally, let's go to Husson University. Husson men's basketball will take on NYU in the NCAA tournament, and this last dance for the Eagles marks the end of a few great careers. Husson has 4 seniors, all from Maine. Mount Ararat's Jared Balzer, MDI's Derek Collin, Bangor's Luke Caruso, and South Portland's Scott Lewis. These 4 have brought 2 banners to Newman Gymnasium, winning the NAC title back in 2022 and this past weekend. And they all say these last 4 years have been an awesome ride, and going out on top is a great way to end their careers with Husson.
It's been like pretty up and down, but like you got to take the good with the bad. This year's been like a pretty special year to go out on because it's like a brotherhood, and I just love these guys.
It means a lot, yeah. It's my senior year. Last time we won, I didn't play. I was injured. So just being able to play and being able to be a part of our championship just meant it was huge. I can't describe the feeling. It was amazing.
You know, a lot of us have been part of the program for numerous years, and we have a lot of young guys, so it was really fun seeing, especially the young guys get their first championship, and for us older guys to win the second one. So it was a great feeling. It's been great. I feel like I've made some brothers for life for sure with the team, and it's been amazing.
It's been great. You know, one thing about our seniors is that we're all Maine guys, so with that perspective, you know, we've all kind of like grown together, and I think we gave a good effort so far, and hopefully we can make some history and get a win here in the NCAAs.
Wishing them the best of luck down in the Big Apple. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Great Scott! This is Green Bay 420 in 2010. What kind of trip is this? I gotta get back to 2023. Wait, it's 2015. So much has changed. In 2023, we had a lot more glass, t-shirts, and novelties. It's gonna take a bolt of lightning to get me home. Finally, home at last. Now Green Bear 420, Green Bear Green Care is bigger and better than ever. To be continued.
If you've been injured in an accident, get Maine's most recognized personal injury law firm working for you today. The law offices of Joe Bornstein, fighting and winning for injured Mainers for nearly 50 years. Selected best lawyers in America for personal injury. Recognized for professional excellence. With more than $500 million collected for injured Mainers and over 25,000 victories for Maine families. Call Joe for a free case evaluation and get the Bornstein Advantage.
Come bowl a few games here at Bangor Brewer Bowling Lanes. We're one of the only candlepin bowling alley centers in Maine, conveniently located in the heart of Brewer. You always have the opportunity to simply bowl for fun. However, you can also join a league. We have youth leagues, adult and senior leagues. Now don't forget, we also host birthday parties for under $100, and gift certificates are also available. Give us a call right away at 989-3798 to make reservations for your birthday party today.
I'm here to make things quick and easy.
All the nonsense.
I'm right.
You may be right, but you're not smart.
Please, Judge Judy, hear my case, please. I will be quiet.
No, I'm done with you.
Meets no nonsense.
I'm not here to argue. I'm here to rule. Fibber, fibber. You know that I'm not buying what you're saying to me, but I'm going to let you dig your hole.
Justice Judge Judy style.
I always have the last word.
Weeknights at 6 on Fox 22. The Pet of the Week is brought to you by Riptide Smoke Shop in Belfast.
Marlon. Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. We're back with our Pet of the Week segment with Catherine Ravenscraft from Bangor Humane Society.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who
Look
do we
at that
have
face. Only a mother could love,
Yeah.
right?
She's
He
cute.
is so cute. He's so goofy. So this is Marlon. Marlon is a 3-year-old good boy. We have no idea what's going on there. We're guessing maybe Shar-Pei, just looking at him.
Yeah.
He's probably listed as a terrier mix
Right.
or
There
something.
you are.
I know. Look at that underbite.
He's so cute.
He's the best boy. So he came to us as a surrender. He originally was adopted from us as a puppy.
Yeah.
And his owner found themselves without housing. And
Ugly.
so it's just a super sad situation all around because this is a good dog. Clearly he is loved.
Clearly
he was
he-
cared for. He's not so great on a leash, but otherwise. That's
okay.
Look at that face. I just love his face.
Know. He was wonderful in the car. He just sat so nicely in the back seat. He didn't try to get in the front and drive for me,
Oh,
which
good.
a lot of our dogs will do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a good boy. He just wants to be loved. It's recommended, I think, because he's such a powerhouse, that you use good judgment with especially smaller children.
Yeah.
Not because he's a danger, but just because he's a bull in a china shop. And he's a yes for other dogs. He likes other dogs. He's a yes for cats.
Oh, wow.
So
Good.
this is a friendly family dog.
He's a certified good boy.
He
Yeah.
is, exactly.
Good boy.
Best breed ever.
Hi, Emma.
So you did, we don't have much time, but you did want to mention Concert for a Cause.
Yeah, UMaine School of Performing Arts next Tuesday at the
Cool.
Collins Center. There will be 3 bands, UMaine's concert band, Leonard Middle School, and Bangor Middle Schools.
Okay.
They will each perform independently, and then they'll perform together, and it's entry by donation, and all of those donations help the dogs and cats and
Fantastic.
small animals at Bangor Humane Society. It's awesome.
That's
It
a
is
great
an
way to
awesome
fundraise.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do a really great program. And what's impressive is that they only practice as a combined band one time a few hours before the concert. So
Oh, wow.
but it's tight. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really great experience. So come over.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have some dogs with us, and you'll see a great program, and we'll talk a little bit about what we do that day too.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
In the meantime, head on over. You got a great dog here.
Oh, he's a good
he's
boy.
fantastic.
Mhm.
Thanks for coming, Catherine.
Thank you.
Good to see ya.
Yeah.
How about one more check of that forecast before we take the break? You want to help me with this? It's going to be a cold day today, partly cloudy and windy with highs near 20 degrees. Partly cloudy tonight with lows dropping down to around 11. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with highs near 31. And Marlon.
TheFoxBangor.com.
Have a great day, everyone.